So yesterday, I think we saw some more things in the JSP part, right? Fine. So any questions so far? Yeah. And you got some exercises also, I saw today. You got the list of practicals, right? That's a list of assignments. So the practicals you'll be doing, or fine, that's what I understand, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Fine. So fine. So let's do something which I think it may be closer to one. It's almost like one of those exercises itself, because we were discussing yesterday also the same thing, right? We were discussing about using MVC pattern and having something like this, right? A login page, at least 2 pages, login and home page, and we can keep one initial welcome page also, right? So welcome page is like, okay, you land on a site, there's no it will give you a link to do a login, okay, something like that, has a link for a login page, and then the login page has a submit button, so that it's getting submitted to a login servlet, and the login servlet forwards to home or login, okay, back to login. Fine. So a welcome servlet can be there, just to forward to that welcome JSP itself, login servlet, and then we'll have a logout servlet. So in the home page, it should have a logout button, okay, a link for logout. So it takes you back to the login page. Okay, fine. A few prerequisites would normally be there, that we should have a database, creating a table where we have the users and other things. Fine. So for our example here, let's not go into a database at this moment. Fine. Okay, it will require making that JDBC connection, setting up the database. Okay, so I'm not going to set up the database and other things. We might have some hard-coded things, or maybe they can be loaded from a file also, the username and their passwords. Fine. So how do you want it? I mean, we can keep one CSV file initially, and almost same thing you can do by connecting to a database. Fine. Okay. Fine. So today I think what we can do is check out with these kind of things. Okay, this kind of arrangement. Okay, let me explain like this, how the flow will be. Okay, fine. See, I've mentioned various things like, okay, we have a welcome servlet, right? So it's how the things will work is something like this. Initially, okay, initially what you when you submit a URL, right? Your URL will be, okay. So when you initially submit the URL, okay, it's going to be like http:// okay, and whatever your host : port number / fine, your application. Okay, so application, for example, in our case we have done academic. Okay, maybe for this exercise we can create one more web application separately. Okay, and / we're not going to ask for a specific resource here. Fine. So normally you would have find that if you use this, it normally goes to a index.html or a index.jsp in the root of the application. But we won't keep either of those two things. Okay, but we will have a setting so that when someone uses this, it should go to a servlet. Okay, it should go to a servlet which we will call as the welcome servlet. So this should hit, this URL hits the welcome servlet. So first control goes to the welcome servlet. Okay, so welcome servlet's job, nothing. It's not going to do any kind of a processing. Straight away forward to, it should forward. Okay, so I'll say, okay, just forward the control to welcome.jsp. Okay, it can just forward to the welcome.jsp. Fine. Okay, fine. So first thing, it goes to the welcome JSP. So here is a welcome JSP, and this welcome JSP has you can show other things, that's fine, but one of the things can be sign in. Okay, later you might add something for sign up also, and if you have a full-fledged application, you can do that. And so someone hits the sign in button here. Okay, so the sign in button has a URL linked to it, which should be the URL for the sign in would be, what would be the URL? Yeah, what should it do? The URL here, okay, should be forwarding to a login JSP, right? So here, either you can, here itself you can say, okay, I would like to forward it to the login JSP, but normal conventions which we follow, okay, is, because even in this case, is that always when someone clicks something, it should not directly go to a JSP. Let it first go to some servlet. So link should always be to a servlet. Okay, so maybe login page servlet or something, we'll have to add one more servlet whose only job is to forward to the login. Okay, like first one, welcome servlet forwards to the welcome JSP. Okay, from welcome, if someone says sign in, okay, there is a yeah, or you could first time, maybe if there is nothing, you could okay, you could submit to the, okay, anyway, we will be designing one login servlet also. From here on sign in, it cannot be submitted directly on login servlet. Okay, but okay, fine, we will keep this to go to the login.jsp itself. Okay, so we, from this sign in means, okay, go to the login JSP. So it shows a login JSP in the next screen. Okay, so in the login JSP which we have designed, what should it be? Okay, so you can say a login page or something, give one header. Okay, you will ask for username and password. Okay, fine, two fields, one for username, other for password, one checkbox. Okay, whether you would like to remember me. Fine, remember. Fine. We get this, right? So that there is an automatic login next time. Fine, so auto remember me, so that there is an auto login next time. Okay, and there is a login button or cancel button. Okay, anyway, we can avoid the cancel button, we may only keep the login button or submit button. This is your submit. Okay, so when it is submitted, right, what is the action it should take? The submit here, okay, goes to the login servlet. It submits to the login servlet. Okay, login servlet, what is it going to do? The login servlet is very clear. It should check whether the user is valid or not, username password is valid or not. If the username password is valid, if it is invalid, then set an attribute for the message. Okay, set up a message, error message. Okay, error message to be set up, but you again go back to the same login JSP, forward to login JSP, error message and forward to login.jsp. So login JSP should have a provision to show a error message, maybe earlier or maybe below this. Okay, somewhere you can decide which place. If there is an error message, it has to be shown. The page has to be designed with the error message. And if there is no error message, I'm not showing anything. But if there is error message, yes, I'm going to show it. Okay, and so it should forward to login JSP. Fine. If the user is valid, then we should have designed a, okay, then we should have designed one more page, okay, where we will have a welcome page. So here is a welcome page. Okay, so you can just say, okay, welcome. Okay, and you can give the name of that person. Okay, fine. But one of the things you might also keep here, maybe here is your log out or sign out. Okay, so you can keep one link for the sign out. So if he clicks the sign out, yeah, it goes to the logout servlet. Fine. And what should the logout servlet be doing? Logout servlet should see one thing, to show the name. Where does that information come from? It comes from, there might be a class called user info. Okay, fine. You can keep the object of user info from which this is picked up and shown here. Okay, we would like to show it from user info. Okay, show the username by picking it up from user info object, which is available in the session. Okay, we'll keep it because there is a successful login. A session should be created and user info is set in the session. Okay, user info object is placed in the session. So when someone says logout, fine, we will have to invalidate the session. Okay, invalidate session. That's the first thing you should do. Invalidate the session so the logout is done and forward to login JSP. Okay, so he can again log in as another user now. Okay, fine. Is the flow clear? Which components will come into picture where, right? So we are creating welcome servlet, a welcome JSP, login JSP, and home JSP. Okay, and servlet side again 3 servlets, and there will be one object of user info which we'll need. So we will have a class called user info. Okay, we will need one class which can give us the various user objects, which are all the valid user objects, fine, which can do the validation for me. Okay, so we will need some such class also, right, which from where I can do validation of all the users. Okay, fine. So authentication of users can be done. Fine. So we can think on those aspect also. Okay, fine. So let's start with this. But flow is clear. How we would like to flow?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Fine. So let's proceed with what? We can first design the servlet part. Okay. Or most simplest of all of these things is the Java that model part, userinfo.java. Fine. Let's start with that maybe. Okay. Okay. So we will have what was the package we were using earlier? org dot RCC, I think. Yeah. Okay. org dot RCC dot MCA3 dot EJT. Okay, fine. And that's a package. And yeah, and now we would just like to have a public class called user info. Yeah, what should the user info be having? His name. Okay, string for the address, city, and any other information if you feel. Okay. Okay, fine. Let's keep this much only. Fine. Name, address, and city. Fine. We can keep on adding as per our requirement. We can always have them. Yeah. What are the things you will need? Okay. See, with the ID, maybe there are things which we can manage much faster. For example, generating a getter and setter methods could easily be done. Okay. Fine. I hope you have used ID and you know how to generate getter setter methods. You are using Eclipse, I believe. Which one? which id?
No sir, हमें NetBeans बोला गया है.
Acha, okay, you're using NetBeans. Okay, I'm just putting the getter methods. Okay, fine. Even there you should have a mechanism by which these methods can be generated. Just declare the variables and then you can right click and say, okay, I want to generate these getter and setter methods. Okay, these are just the getter methods, and okay, we might just keep one constructor through which all the things can be set. Okay, so we have the public, a public constructor for user info. Okay, it takes parameter string, name from a string, address. Okay, fine. So this is a very simple class. I have not put the setter methods, but instead through the constructor, the values will initially get set, and then you only read the values. Okay. Okay, fine. And then let's save it. Okay, we have src, org. Acha, we did a role wala, not rcc. Okay, I think I'll update the package name. Okay, role wala, and then we had servlet. Okay, because we were putting a servlet there. Okay, let me not put a servlet there. Okay, rcc dot. Yeah, what application you would like to keep? Package name is going to be org.rolewala. It's not a servlet, so I'm not going to put it in servlet. Let's keep it as model. Okay, actually some application name should come in between. Okay, then we should have kept a model. Okay, so want to keep it as academic. Okay, let's say academic, and under academic we have the model. Okay, and that's a place. So this is part of the model, as we were mentioning yesterday. This is going to be part of the model. Let's have something like user info.java. Okay, so this we have to change, and it's not this, it's rolewala dot academic dot okay, fine. So that's a package, fine, for which we have designed this. Okay, and so this is the user info class, first one. Next, okay, we want to keep one. Okay, let's first design the one JSP page, which is the first page will be a welcome page. Okay, not much, we are not going into designing lot of things there. So a simple plain HTML file. Okay, okay, it will have that head and title. Title is okay, and then we have the body. Okay. You can have h1. Okay, and then you would just like to keep a link a href equal to a, a href equal to, and here you'll think of maybe here you would like to send it to login.jsp. Okay, fine. Let's keep login.jsp in the root itself. That's fine. Okay. And this is sign in. Okay, fine. Other things you can design and keep whatever else you want to mention in this welcome page. Okay. Okay, so this we can save as welcome.jsp. Okay, where should this be placed? We'll create a separate application, or we'll keep it in academic. Okay, I think we started calling it as academic, so we'll have to keep it in the same place. It's not like have to, but yeah. Okay, let's keep in the same application. I'm not creating a new application now. Our web application already is existing for academic. Okay, so that's the one. And in academic, here we will need okay, in this this is welcome JSP. Okay, so this can be, we have the folder for JSP, and here is our okay, this is the welcome.jsp. Right, so that's the first thing we have done, is we have tried to design one welcome JSP. But how does one reach this welcome JSP? We have kept it in the private folder. Okay, so to reach there we will have a welcome servlet. Okay, right, so we design our servlet. Okay, let's have I'll pick up the package name from here. And we'll change this to servlet. Okay, academics.servlet, and we'll need the import for JavaX. Okay, and we'll have the public class called, and it extends from HTTP servlet. And yeah, we would like to override which one? Using the get. Okay, public void do get. Okay, throws. Fine. For all your do methods, do any of those do methods, and if you are overriding service method, put these two throws. Okay, you will be able to put the throws for servlet exception and IO exception. Okay. What is it that we would like to do? We are not interested in doing anything here. The welcome servlet's job is only to straight away forward it simply to the welcome.jsp. Fine. So first thing can come here. Okay. Okay. So we would like to forward it to yeah. So how do we forward to that? Okay. Request dispatcher. How do you create a request dispatcher? We can use get servlet context. Okay, in servlet context we have the method to get a request dispatcher. Fine. It can be fetched by its location. Okay, so or by the name. You can you're free to make an entry in the web.xml. Okay, fine. We are updating the same web XML now. Okay, because we have kept the same application. So I have not created a new application. It's the same one, academic application itself, that we are updating now. Okay, so we are just adding, and here I want get servlet context dot. We have two options. One is get request dispatcher. Fine. See, I'll show you two ways of doing it now. Okay, one option is to say get request dispatcher. But when I say get request dispatcher, where have I saved it? I have saved it under webinf/jsp or JSPs. What was the folder for the JSP? It is webinf/JSP. Okay, fine. That's where we have the welcome.jsp. Okay, so you can use that. Okay, slash. Fine. Either you do it this way. Fine. Or another option, which we have the type of option which we have used earlier. I'm putting both of them here and we'll comment one of the lines. Okay. You can use the get named dispatcher. Okay, where you can say, okay, I want the dispatcher by the name called welcome. Okay, welcome JSP maybe. I just want to make it different. Okay, so it's a welcome JSP, right? So we will have to comment out one of them. This currently this is going to work. Okay, but why I have put this? This will be possible if you make a servlet entry for your JSP. JSPs are servlets. Fine, we understand JSPs are also servlets, and okay, so let me save this. This is a servlet being created. Sorry. Okay, I'll save later. Okay, so create this and okay, you can do dispatcher.forward and pass the request and the response object. Okay, so this will be then forwarding to the welcome.jsp file. Welcome.jsp is under webinf. Understand, webinf is a private folder. It's not available directly as a URL. You don't have a URL to go directly to welcome.jsp. Okay, and because anything under webinf not directly available in the form of a URL for a client. And it's only on the server side, some component. For example, this servlet is able to use the welcome JSP as a resource, but directly some client trying to use it as a resource, not possible. Okay, right. Now if you want to have this named dispatcher thing, how will you be doing it? Okay. Now let me save this file and we'll save it under, where do we save it? Under src. Okay. org Rolwala and academic. We'll have one servlet also. So all our servlets are going to be here. Okay, and Under servlet, we will have what we call as a welcome servlet. We have the welcome servlet.java. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So currently, of course, this second line is commented. So we might like to switch from this to this. Okay. Currently, it's using this line. Okay. Fine. So instead of line 11 being active, we want to make line 12 to be active. So that can be done. Okay. So you may not be using this here, but so you can go by the name. Okay. It's a welcome JSP, right? And where do we define that welcome JSP as a name? Give the name to this particular resource. It will be in the web XML. Okay. Not the mapping part. Okay. Before the mappings, we have the servlets, right? So among the servlet, let's add one more servlet. Okay. And we will have we'll have the servlet name. Okay. Servlet name is welcome JSP. And we don't have a servlet class here. It's the JSP file. Okay. And which is that JSP file? /web-inf/JSP/welcome.jsp. Okay. So now we have that option, right? Now, if I go to that servlet file, I have the option of, okay, in this servlet, I have the option of enabling and using the named dispatcher. Right? This is welcome JSP is the name for the servlet. Okay, I have an entry with the servlet name. There's no mapping. There's no URL mapping for this particular JSP. Okay, so it's fine. So I can use like this. You can use either ways now. Okay, fine, either ways. So you can try both of them one by one. Okay, and so this is how a welcome servlet is written. Now, how do I hit the welcome servlet initially? I don't want to key in my saying, okay, /academic/welcome. No, nothing like that. We don't need /academic/welcome. Okay, but we want the things to work. So in the web XML, okay, like we have the servlet entry, we have seen the servlet mapping. Fine, these are so many different types of entries. We have context parameters as well. Okay. Oh, we have yesterday we did that, right? Oh, we have a welcome file list, but I'm not going to keep /process. But I'm interested in /welcome. Okay, maybe I'll call it as welcome servlet. Okay. So we will have to make an entry for our servlet and a mapping, URL mapping for that. Okay. Okay, so we have our servlets. We have a servlet for the JSP. We now have a servlet for the and we can give what? Okay, I might use the welcome servlet as the name. Okay, and we have the servlet class. Okay, what was the class? org.rolwala.academic.servlet.welcome servlet. Okay, and here's the /servlet class. And so that's a servlet entry. And now we have the servlet mappings. Let's keep a mapping for this one. Okay. So for servlet mapping, yes, we want for this servlet. Yeah, we want to map this servlet to a URL. Okay, and what's a URL? Okay. URL is saying slash and okay, oh, it is slash welcome servlet. Okay, this is slash welcome servlet. This is same as what we have used in the welcome file list. Yeah, here. Okay, well, we have used that same pattern slash welcome servlet. Okay, so this should actually take us to the welcome page. Okay, fine. Now, okay, so let's try this much. Okay, let's see. Let's make this thing to work. Okay, we'll have to compile. No, we will have to compile and the okay. We have Tomcat 9, web apps, academic. In academic, we have the classes folder. Oh, we have the web INF, I have the classes folder. Yeah, so that's my destination. Okay, minus CP, I'll have to use the class path, and that's dot backslash tomcat 9 backslash lib backslash servlet API dot jar. Okay, what is to be compiled? Okay, so what we have to compile is org rollwala academic. In this we have one is the model. Okay, model and this, and other is, so this is one thing to be compiled. Okay, next one to be compiled is org rollwala. It's in a different folder, otherwise we could have done it there itself, academic, and then we have the servlet folder. Okay. So fine, so these two have compiled. So compilation, we are ready with the compilation. Now we can start the Tomcat server. Okay, so let's start the Tomcat server. Where is Tomcat backslash backslash no backslash Tomcat 9 backslash bin startup. Okay, let's start the Tomcat server. Okay, it has started, right? And now we can go to our here, start, open one more tab. Okay, here is this, and let's use the manager. And here is my academy. If I click here, fine, then also it should invoke the root of the application. Okay, so let's try this, and it says not found. Slash is not available. Academic slash is not available. Okay. Welcome file list. Welcome is there. Okay. We can try another way though. Okay. So currently, if you are just interested in looking at it. Achha, this is there. Let's open one more tab. I think there we can do it. In the tab, we'll say tt slash academic slash, okay, this we have seen it is currently not working. Okay, anyway, so we know we have done one URL pattern called welcome servlet. This should at least work. Okay, this one is working for us. Okay, welcome to web application, and then there is a sign in button. Okay, okay, so somehow that welcome file list which we have put, welcome file, that is somehow not taken up correctly. Okay, we'll have to find out where the problem lies. Okay, okay, yeah. Okay. Otherwise, it should, it should require that I should be keying in welcome slash welcome servlet. That should not have been necessary. Okay, the next part is still pending. We haven't created sign in. Okay, and sign in should be looking for, so this, if I click, it should be looking for the, okay, we have said href, and there it says, okay, not found. What it is not found? It's not finding the slash login.jsp file. Okay, fine. So next one, yes, we can develop the login.jsp file. Okay, and then make this also work. Okay, let's create the login.jsp file. Sorry. Okay, so again another HTML. Yeah. Okay, in the login page, it's a JSP, understand this. Now in this login page, what is it that we would like to show? First thing, okay, let's have those head and title. Title will be and next here we'll have h1. Okay, and okay, now we would like to take inputs from the user. Okay, so first some kind of a label, so you can keep one label which is saying login ID. Okay, and then input type equal to text. It's a HTML anyway. Yeah, input type equal to text, name equal to, this is important. What you use as name, this becomes the parameter name. Okay, fine. So this could be said as, okay, this is my login ID. Okay, so name is login ID. Okay, and size, there are other attributes you may give, right? But anyway, I'm skipping those attributes. So this is the first input I'm taking, and then I can have one paragraph. Okay. I think slash means you won't like to start and end. No? I think that's done like this. Okay, and so this is the login ID. This is for the password. Input type equal to password, name equal to, and you can say, okay, and okay, we're not keeping anything about the this thing. Okay, have another paragraph. Okay, so next line. Okay, and in the next line we would like to keep a checkbox. Yeah. How do you get a checkbox? Input type equal to it's called checkbox. For getting a checkbox, what do we use in HTML? We call it as check or checkbox?
Checkbox.
Okay, checkbox. Input type equal to checkbox, right? And name is important. Name equal to and okay. Remember. Okay, so this is about you would like the server. You want the browser to remember whatever user is there, and it should be submitted each time. And so this is a place where we may actually go for using a cookie also here. Right? We might be using a cookie in this case. Name equal to remember, and yeah, and then value equal to, right? I think we have to say value equal to. Okay. And so I think it gives this label, remember me, in this case, right? That's how it should be, value equal to. Okay. Okay, so let's say this is what we save as a, we'll save this as login.jsp. Okay, let's see how it appears. Okay, so this goes in a different place. Web apps, academic. And here in academic, right here itself, in the root, you will have to place this, okay? This is login.jsp. Okay, so we have kept this, and let's come to this place. Let's try a sign in. Yeah. Okay. Acha, it didn't appear this thing. Login ID. This is some password. Fine. And this we can say I would like it to remember or not, right? I don't know, the right hand side, it should have shown the label. Is it through value or is it through label? I think that's where we made a mistake. Its value will be going as a value for this. Yeah. Oh, we forgot the submit button also, right? So how do we create all of those things? Submit button and everything. That means you need a form. Okay. Is it value or is it label? Do we have label equal to?
So value.
To show it on the right hand side, it will be value or will it be label?
Sorry, sir. What's your?
See, we wanted
Label.
label. Yeah. Okay, and then input type equal to submit. Right? Input type equal to submit. What are the other attributes? We'll have to say action, right? Action equal to, and here you now in action equal to, you'll say it is login servlet. So this login is going to be my URL pattern for the login servlet. Okay, so whatever is your URL pattern for the login servlet, that should be given here.
Sir, we can put the action attribute in the form also.
In the form, oh sorry, yeah, it's in the form. Input type equal to submit, and yeah,
Means, sir, can we
form.
put
Yeah,
put
this is
attribute
here.
in the
Action equal to here. It's supposed to be here only. Sorry, action equal to, and it's a form attribute. Yes, action equal to, and here is login. Okay. Now whatever action I've kept here, okay, this name becomes my URL pattern for the login servlet. Okay. See the relationships here. Okay. Fine. I will be having a mapping. Okay, servlet mapping, like we created a mapping for the welcome. We'll have a servlet dash mapping. Though I have not yet created the login servlet, okay, I'm just putting the web.xml here, okay, and this would have a URL slash, and this is login. Okay, so this is what you need there. Okay, slash login, if that's the URL pattern, that's what is the action. Okay. And you of course will be having a servlet name, and servlet name can be, okay, maybe I want to call it a servlet name. You want to keep space, you can keep that, it doesn't matter, this is just a name. Okay, this should match my servlet entry. I should be having a servlet entry similar to a servlet entry for the welcome. Okay, so we are yet to develop the servlet, okay, but you can think in those terms. So we have the login servlet, and here we might have, instead of welcome, we will be developing a class called the login servlet. Okay, and then we'll have to see what are the content which goes in the login servlet. But this is how the linkage is done. Clear? From web XML, how the linkage is created for the using the URL pattern. Okay, which servlet for which URL pattern, and this is the mapping. Okay. This was our user info. Okay. So now, what are the actions to be done by a login servlet? Okay. Okay, there are a lot of things to be done inside the login servlet. I'll just create that file. I'll just create that class. Okay. And you want it as a get or as a post? Maybe we don't like the get, because with get we understand what's the problem. Oh, the username, password, they will get shown on the URL, right? So we would like to support only post. Okay, fine. So see, if I say do post, okay, okay, currently, yeah, what are the, okay, and here we want the file called. Okay, this is now, okay, what are the things to be done? No, this request dispatcher will be always at the end. Okay, this will be the last thing, and it where will it be forwarding? No, it's not to the welcome servlet, but it will be forwarding either to the login or to the either to the login JSP, fine, or it will be forwarding to the home JSP, one of the two JSPs. Okay, and so this, anyway, we have to okay, so which request dispatcher, but you definitely will be having a request dispatcher and forwarding to be done at the end. Okay, I have not completed this. Okay, but fine. Let's look at the initial part here. What's the first thing we do in our do get or do post or the service method, whichever you may be writing for our servlet? And the first thing which you will be doing here is you'll be, oh, you understand, you have got three parameters. Recollect, from where do we come here? From the login JSP. Fine. Where is the login JSP? This is the login JSP. There are three names. There is login ID. Okay. There is PSSWD and there is remember. So the what are the choices the user has submitted? That's what you are interested in knowing. Okay, and that's where you should be. The first thing would be about this. Okay, so you'll say string login ID equals. Okay, so this you will be able to fetch from request.get parameter. Okay, and what will be the parameter? That's from the, pick up the spelling from this place. Okay, this is login ID, right? And keep it case sensitive, right? Same way, string equal to this will change to whatever we have written. Fine. So just so that you don't have spelling mistakes and this thing should match, you can just copy paste from wherever you have actually used them. Okay, but you should be clear, the name here is my parameter name from the request. So when this page is submitted, when someone submits this form, okay, this is the parameter name I will be receiving. Okay, now okay, now what you okay, what happens here? Let's see. This is a checkbox, right? Oops. Okay, fine. Now what happens to this? Remember, it's a checkbox. How do you check whether the checkbox is true or is checked or not? If yeah, how will you check whether it's checked or not?
Is checked.
See, this checkbox, either it was selected or it was checked or unchecked. So whether it is checked or unchecked, how will you know? This is the parameter you have received for the value of the parameter. So what do you check here? Okay, so that's how you check whether the checkbox has been checked or not. Okay, null means it wasn't checked. Okay. And remember is coming from a checkbox basically. Okay, so for checkboxes, this is how we do the checking. So if this is the case, if it's available, right? So yes, he has done a checking. What is it that we should be doing now? Set a cookie on the client, right? We want to set the cookie. We want to remember, ask the client to remember this login ID and password both. The browser should remember them. How do we make it remember this? Okay, so for that we have to use the response object, response dot add cookie. Recollect, new cookie. Cookie can be created using key and value. What's a key? Key is the, maybe this is what you decide. You say, okay, you decide the key to be called login ID, and what's the value? Okay, that variable contains a value what was submitted by the user. Okay, so if this is the case, we are interested in adding the cookie. Add cookie for login ID, add cookie for the password. Okay, we have the variable name called password. Okay, fine. So that's how the checkbox is used. Fine. Otherwise, yes, you have the login ID and password both. Okay, fine. Use them to check whether it's this user ID password is valid or not, this combination is valid or not, and then we have to take the action. If it is valid, then only we will think about this. Okay, if it is not valid, okay, if not valid, okay, I'll just put in comments. Okay, if user if the login ID and password is not valid, okay, forward to login.jsp. But before forwarding, okay, set a message in the request, error message in the request and forward to okay. So forwarding to login.jsp will be one of the code, but that's inside a if. So if that is the case, we would have forwarded. Otherwise, we would like to like to come here. Okay. And otherwise, we'll check if there is a cookie, then we'll set a cookie. If there is a checkbox is true, we'll set the cookies. Okay. And then after setting cookies, here we will forward to this request dispatcher should be forwarding to the home JSP. Okay. Fine. Not I have not completed it. Okay. So I'm just okay. And just comment this. Fine. The flow becomes clear, right? And then that home JSP is pending. Okay, from home JSP there will be one button for the logout. Okay, so if we clicks on the logout, we come back. Fine, we come back to the login JSP. So there is that logout servlet. Okay, that also is pending. So clicking on logout sends to the logout servlet. Okay, fine, and yeah, I think we can continue more. Fine, we can continue tomorrow.
Yes, sir.
Okay. And tomorrow will be time will be 2:30, right?
Okay.
Okay. Fine. If you have any other session, okay, inform me then. Okay. Otherwise, we'll continue from 2:30. Okay. Okay. Have a nice day, everyone. Yeah.